This is actually like note investing, meaning I am going to be directly the one buying the property and doing the mortgage with the people that live there. There's not going to be a fund in the middle. Now, I can make more money this way, right? But there are also more risks this way on the standpoint of, okay, it's going to take maybe a little bit more of my knowledge and expertise. There might be a risk of me not getting paid if the family doesn't pay, and I might have to have some turnover with the property. Here's what this looks like. I've got my cash. I form an entity called a land trust. Okay. I put my cash into the land trust, right? Now, what does the land trust do? Like I said, I invest in real estate. I own none of it. Okay. So in the first example, I don't own it because I'm just a borrower or I'm just a lender, right? Like just like the bank. The second one, I put my money in the land trust. Jerry Fetta does not own this money anymore. The land trust does. Jerry Fetta is the beneficiary of the land trust. There's a third-party company that's the trustee. So my name is never on this trust as far as somebody that's controlling it or in charge, even though I am. I'm the one that formed it. I'm the beneficiary. Its sole existence is my financial freedom. So I put the money in the land trust. I'm the beneficiary. The land trust actually buys a home. Okay. So a home is being purchased, and it is being purchased by me, but it's through my land trust. You see that? I don't own the home. I'm not on the title. Jerry Fetta is not on anything here. The land trust is. This is important. This is called asset protection. This is a veil of protection. If anything ever happens, nobody can go after Jerry Fetta or any of his assets because it's just the land trust. Okay. So the land trust buys the home. The key here is you want to buy the home cheap. So we're not buying great homes and luxury homes. We're not buying middle-class homes. We're buying what I would call a C home. Okay. Tertiary properties. We're buying the kind of stuff I grew up in, where it's kind of a trailer, sometimes not a trailer, but almost. Okay. You're not going to live there. So don't get emotionally attached to what it looks like. Someone else will live there. So you're buying these very cheap. You're buying very cheap homes. These are the kind of homes, if you guys are familiar with wholesaling, these are the kind of homes a wholesaler would buy. You're buying it very cheap. It's under market value. And what you're going to do is you're going to buy it for, let's say, 40 to 50K. Okay, so that's what I'm going to pay to get the home. Now, I'm going to take this home and I'm going to get it up to where it's livable because it might not be at this point. So I'm going to get it up to where it'll pass an inspection. Somebody can live there and I can sell it, right? Now, I'm going to find a family, and there's a company that I would hire to do that for me as well. They're going to find a family that's going to live in this home. They're going to make a down payment to me. So they're going to make a down payment to my land trust. And then we're going to agree to a mortgage payment, an amortized schedule. So they're going to pay me over, let's say, the next 20 to 30 years. I'm going to charge them 8 to 12% interest, and it's going to be principal and interest, just like you would with a bank. Okay. They cover their own taxes. They cover their own insurance. They cover their utilities. They're owner of the property on paper, right? Even though I hold the title. Okay. So they're going to be making this mortgage payment. Now, when I sell it to them, I'm selling it for market rate. I bought it for 40 to 50. I'm going to sell it for typically maybe 70,000, 80,000, 90,000. Okay. So I want to stick in a target of 50 to 70% loan to value ratio, which means that when I own or finance it, even though I paid 40, I might do a loan with them where I'm loaning them 75. Loaning them, meaning they're going to live in the house, and over the next 30 years, they're going to pay me $75,000 with 8 to 12% interest, right? So if I paid, let's say in this example, just for easy math, let's actually say that this was 80. Okay. I paid 40. I'm going to finance it for 80. I just doubled my money. Like, they're going to pay that principal. If they don't, I'll take the home back, right? And then I'll redo it again, and it'll just keep happening, and I'll keep getting the income and the down payments. But if they pay that home off, I doubled my money before I even made any interest, right? So I'm collecting interest 8 to 12% on a higher number. Okay, so this is where you can make more than with a fund. But the problem is these people, what if they don't pay? Right. So now, and how long does it take to get the home on the market? So those are the differences. It might take me 6 months. It might take me 12 months. It might take me 3 months. It might be right away. Okay. But I have to be willing to, pay for the utilities and the insurances and different things until someone's in that home, living in it, making that mortgage payment. Okay. Same thing. If they move out, I've got to foreclose. I've got to kick them out. Now, the great thing is, and it's kind of ironic, it's actually often easier to foreclose on someone than it is to evict them. Like if you have an owner finance note, it's easier for you to do a foreclosure and take back a property than it is to evict a tenant in a rental property. Why? Because of proof. On a mortgage, the only proof is they didn't make the payment by the date. Right? That's the only thing. And I can prove that with paper. I can say, look, here's my bank statement and here's the day, and the money didn't show up. Right? So this is something I've got to look at. Now with a rental, it's much harder to prove someone was smoking. It's much harder to prove there were noise complaints. It's much harder to prove they were breaking my rules. Right. So then I've got to go to court. I've got to go through that proceeding, and I've got to have evidence. You can't just convict someone on something without evidence. Okay. Now, Mark says the PETA factor can be much higher. It can be. And that's where it's like, okay, if I want vanilla, like, a little bit less money every month, but it shows up every month because the fund pays me, even if the people living in the house got kicked out, then okay, great. That's my way. That's my way. With this one, when I get past about 3 properties, and I'm doing about 3 properties with this, now I'm diversified out where it's like, okay, I've got enough of these going where if a foreclosure happens, I've got income coming in still, right? And then the key here is third-party management. Okay, so the way that I do this is I have a company that finds the homes. They actually buy them at foreclosure auctions from banks. I don't have to be involved in that process at all. They fix the homes up for me. I'm not involved in the fixing of the homes either. And then they just send me a list and say, which ones do you want? And I go literally scroll through and I just look at, I want that, I want that, I want that, right? These are the ones that I want. Once I've selected them, they go find the families. They set up the land trust. They collect the down payment. They collect the mortgage payment, and they just deposit it in my escrow every month. The only thing that I have to do in this scenario is wait, right? Because if I buy the property again, it might be 6 months before they get someone living in it. Okay, so I have to be okay with waiting in that scenario. Okay, and then also if an eviction happens, like I might have to wait in that scenario too while they get a new family in there, they turn over the property, etc. Okay, so those are the things I'm involved in. The other things I'm involved in are just approvals, right? So I can approve, I approve, the mortgage terms with the family. Like I'm selling for 75, a family offered 70. Do I want to help them? Okay. And that's a big part of it. Like when I do this, I'm not just the greedy Scrooge McDuck bank. I actually want to help people, right? So if I can help a family, get a good deal on a house, and I know that they're going to pay me, we do with the group that I work with on this, we look at 2 years of rental history. So if they missed a rental payment in the last 2 years, we're going to find out, and that's going to be a ding. It's going to count against them. We do employment history. We call 2 years worth of employment or clients if they're a salesperson or a business owner. We look at their financials. We look at tax returns. We look at everything. Now, often they're going to have bad credit. So that's the one where we kind of assume their credit probably is shitty, right? We're not going to ding them for their credit, but we're going to look at everything else and say, okay, is this person stable? Are they a good person? Are they going to take care of the property? Now, the other thing we make sure that they understand is if you live in this house, if you do the seller finance note or you live in the house, it's your house now, right? You can paint it. You can fix it up. You can make improvements. If you do that, you will build equity. And I want them to do that because I want them to build equity. In a best case scenario, this actually happened with this group. A family bought a house, I believe for $70,000, I think is what they paid. On this exact structure. Okay, the family living there, they bought the house for $70,000. They're financing and making their payments. They just listed it for $280,000. Okay, I love that. The investor got cashed out. When they sell the home, the investor gets his principal back. The money that's remaining comes back to him. The family, though, their lives are forever changed. The equity that they have in that home now, like they're totally different. Okay, so this is what I like because it actually can change lives. This is what banks do. Banks, they own homes all across the country on owner finance, just on finance with the bank. They buy it through the bank, through the note. They're the number. They're first position on the mortgage. You're on the title, like as the person that's living and paying the mortgage. But they hold it. If you don't pay, it's their house, right? So you don't own the house, the bank does, even though you're the one making the mortgage payment. It's the same thing. There's a reason why they're not renting them all out to us. That was the business model that was winning. That's what they would do.
If you're wondering, what does Wealth Dynamics do? How can we actually help you? Number one, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom, grab one now. You can get that down in the comments in the video. You can get the link for that. Number two, we do a free course on Fridays on personal finance. Okay, you can also get the link for the description there too. And then finally, if you have a desire to start getting help walking through these different phases toward financial freedom, book a call with my team. Go to our website, set up a call. We're able to help out and answer questions. That's how we can help you. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you turn notifications on, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.